come join me on the carpet, and would you please bring, oh, wait a second, I should have told you all the steps. You need to bring your boxes with you, and you need to sit next to your partner on the rug. All right? Let's see if you can do those things. Can you make sure your books stay in there? There you go, babe. Come on over to the rug. I'll be sitting in that chair, but I'm going to start right here. So you can just sit on the carpet next to your partner. Nice job, first grade. Yeah, there's room. You guys can scoot right in that spot. Nice job. Great.
Right here.
All right. First grade, I was so impressed when I came into your classroom and I saw all of these charts that you all have been making that talk about the good habits that readers have, right?
Yeah.
And they're good reminders when you're reading either by yourself or with your partner. So can you just turn this way for a moment, and we're going to read through and remind ourselves of those good habits that readers have. So we'll look at this chart right here first, right? So let's read this one together. The first thing we think about when we're building good habits is I can take a sneak peek, right? And that'll help me get ready to think about what my book is about. And I can check my sneak peek, right? So after I finish reading, I can say, oh, did I do it right? Did I make some of those good predictions? Yeah? This one says, I can do something at the end of the book. And I noticed that you have a whole chart that talks about the things you can do at the end of a book, don't you? Lots of ideas. This one says, I can read more and more. And you have that up here twice, because one thing we know is when we read more and more, it makes us a stronger reader. Something else we know is we can kind of keep track of how much we're reading, right? I can set goals, right? What do I want to do better as a reader? This is a really good one to remember. I can reread to smooth out my voice. Nice job. And that way it doesn't sound bumpy, right? It sounds like a storyteller voice.
Yeah.
How about this one? I can scoop up more words, right? So that we're trying to read, that will help us read it smoothly, doesn't it? When we scoop up more words at one time. And I can reread to see more. Nice job. So we have lots of good ideas about how to build those good reading habits. I'm going to come around. I'm just going to go this way so I don't step on anybody's fingers. But today, we're going to continue to think about those good reading habits, but we're also going to think about the good work we do together with partners, right? When you guys are partner reading, so you spend a little bit of time each day partner reading, and you spend a little bit of time each day reading by yourself. Right?
Yeah.
So when we think about the good work we do as partners, today I want to teach you that when partners are reading together and they get to the end of a book, they don't just put that book down and say, done with that, what's next? No way! Those partners decide to do something at the end of their book. All right? So we're going to add to our chart right here that we can do something at the end of a book. Now, have you already had that conversation about the things that you might do when you're reading by yourself?
Yeah.
So does it make sense that we would do something with a partner too?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So let's add that to our chart. We can do something at the end of a book. And the things that we can do are just like the things that you can do at the end of the book by yourself. So can you turn, I know that's kind of the other direction, but can we remember some of the things that we can do at the end of a book? We can reread our favorite part. We could reread the whole book. We could think back over the parts. Or we could retell the story. Are all of those good things to do at the end of a book?
Yes.
Are those all things you could also do with your partner?
Yes.
They are. They are. Can you tell me your name? Connor, would you come up here and pretend to be my partner for just a minute? Get a book out of your box and let's be partner readers for just a minute. So Connor and I are reading about orcas, and we're reading together, and we get to the end of our book. We go, oh, whew, done with that one. Let's get another one. Is that what partners do? Is that what partners do at the end of a book?
No.
No. When partners get to the end of a book, they do something, right? Can you find a story in there that you like to read, Connor? find something in there you like to read. I'll help you hold it because it's hard to stand up and do that, I know. This one, Lucia's Neighborhood, you like to read that one? Do you kind of know this story? Can you tell me a little bit about it just so that I know the story?
She like goes everywhere.
She does. So we're going to flip close to the end of the story because we're going to pretend that we've been partner reading this whole thing together. Right? I'm going to keep flipping. Looks like that's at the end, right? So I'm going to read my page and then you can read your page. We're getting to the end of our story because we're partner readers, all right? This says library. Does the librarian help me? Yes. We sit and look at my book.
It is fun to be home. You bet it is.
All right, so Connor, what should we do today when we finish our story? What would you like to do as partners?
We tell the story.
You want to retell the story? All right, so why don't you start? You tell a little bit about the characters.
Lucia, librarian, her family, the man that helps them with the garage,
Okay.
and the firefighter.
Wow, so there are lots of characters in here, right? Yeah, so it also looks like if I wanted to retell something about the setting, it looks like the setting is all of the places that Lucia goes in her neighborhood, right? And so we see the soccer field and we see the pet shop and the bakery, but all of those places are her neighborhood, so the setting is her neighborhood, right? Is that what good partners would do at the end of a book?
Yes.
Absolutely. Connor, thank you so much for being my partner. So here's what I want you to do. You're sitting next to your partner right now, and for just a minute here at the carpet, I want you and your partner to do a little bit of partner reading and see what you decide to do when you get to the end of a book. So you and your partner know how to partner read. You do this every day. So find something you and your partner would like to partner read, and let's see what some of the decisions are you make at the end of your book. Let's see what you decide.
Look at
Make your choice quickly so you can get started with your partner. Oh, I like the way this partnership already has a book out. You guys can get started. Nice job. Okay, get started. All right, what did you guys decide? All right, one of you start. Okay, she can start? All right. All right, get going. Read with your partner just like you do every day.
Baby pot. Male occurs weighs up to 12,000 pounds. Got 5,400 kilograms.
Nice job.
It's CMM. Feels funny. Funny. What's limes? I'm not even home for baby. What is wrong with me? Please scratch my fluffies. Mama scoops up me and snuggles me. I hang my head over her arm. So drive home.
What did you decide to do?
Tell her about the story.
Okay, great. Great. Go ahead and tell your partner a little bit about it. So, did you guys finish a book? What did you guys decide to do at the end of the book? Because we're going to do something. What did you decide to do? Remember, you can retell, you can reread your favorite part, or reread the whole book, or think about the parts. What are you going to do when you finish reading? Do what, honey? So can you kind of tell them some of the parts? Yeah? Go ahead and tell them. All right, readers, eyes up here. Can you stop for just a moment? So we already have some partnerships that are at the end of their books, and one partnership decided to retell the story, and another partnership decided to think about the parts of the story. So we just want to make sure that today, when we finish partner reading, we do something with the book, right? And we think about those things that we can do. Reread your favorite part, reread the whole book, think back over the parts, or retell the story. And you can tell what happened in the story, you can tell about the characters, you can tell about the setting, you could tell about the problem and solution if your story had something like that. But because we're trying to develop these good habits, these are our good habits for working with a partner, right? You can't just do it once and have a good habit. You have to do it every day. So today we're going to start that good hard work of readers doing something at the end of a book, even when they're partner reading, not just when they're reading by themselves. Is that a deal?
Yes.
You think you'll remember that?
Yes.
All right, off you go to your special reading spots.
Lonnie, that's mine.
Oops, did you pick up this wrong box? That's all right, just switch. There you go.
This is my feet. And I go down here.
Okay, great. Can I switch spots with you? Just because he said that would be a good spot for the camera. Oh, excuse me. So you can sit anywhere else at the table, but I just am going to be right here with the kids conferring. You guys are fine. I think you're fine there. Okay. All right, need to have a book out. What you going to read?
I'm taking this off.
All right. Get started with your reading. Hope you get a little paper cut. Yeah, I think it'll be all right. You think it's okay? All right. Are you Ani? Are you Ani?
What?
Are you Ani or are you Kinsley?
Kinsley.
Kinsley, you want to bring your box up here and have a conference with me? You can leave your folder there if you want. You're going to be right back down there. You can sit right here. How's Kinsley today? Good. What do you think you want to read today? You want to share that one with me? All right, let me hear what you got. Now, when we read a book, what's the first thing we want to do? Huh? What's this story called? Do you know? What's this book about? Can you tell by looking at the cover?
She likes her blanket.
She does. Do you see the word blankets on that cover? Where would be blankets? Yes. So this is pretty blankets. Can you read that?
Pretty blanket.
All right, let's hear you read some of the book.
This blanket has holes on it. This blanket has squares on it.
Great.
This blanket has circles on it. This blanket has stars on it. This blanket has triangles on it. This blanket has hearts on it.
Wow.
I love my blanket.
Nice job. So do you know what I noticed you doing? You did a really nice job of touching each word. Did you notice that the pictures go with those words too? Yeah, you did such a nice job of making sure that what you were reading, your finger matched the words and the words matched the picture, didn't they? Yeah, so this had all different kinds of blankets in it, didn't it? So let's pull another book out of your box and let's talk about another story. All right? You did such a nice job with that. This is a little bit different book, isn't it? The Chick and the Duckling. Can you tell me a little bit about what happens in this book?
The chick drowns into the water
Yeah?
and the duck pulls it out.
Oh my goodness, so that's the problem and the solution in this story, isn't it? Can you find your favorite part in the book and let me see what you've got? Find your favorite part.
I didn't recite it.
You didn't put a post-it note? That's okay. You can still just find your favorite part. This one? Okay, let's hear you read these pages.
I am taking a walk. Said the duck. Eat too. Said the chicken.
All right, let's read one more page.
I am said the duck.
All right, let's stop right there. So once again, you're doing such a nice job with your finger pointing and knowing which word is, but I want us to look at this word right here, okay? Duck. What would duck end with?
K.
Duck. What do you hear at the end of duck?
K.
I hear a K. Do you see a K in that word? Show me the K. Show me the K. I bet you do see a K. Do you see one? All right. This is the word duck. But this word keeps on going. We have to look all the way through the word. So can we figure out what this part of the word is?
Duckling.
It is duckling, right? Because if it were duck, you just told me, it would end with a K, wouldn't it? But this ends with ing. That makes that ing sound, doesn't it? So we have to make sure we look all the way through the word, right? So that's what I want you to make sure you're doing. You're looking all the way through the word. Let's read a couple more pages just to see. Let's start right here.
Me too, said the chick. I found a worm, said the duckling.
Now, read that page again and don't look at me, just look at the words.
I found a worm, said the duckling.
Do you see that whole word? I like the way you look through that whole word. So as you are reading today, what I want you to think about is I want you to make sure you're looking at the whole word so that you say all the parts of a word. All right? Do you think you can do that? Kinsley, you're doing a nice job with your reading. You can head on back to your spot, okay? Abby, can you come read with me? And you can actually leave your stuff there, okay? I have something for you over here. How are you today, Abby? Good. I was visiting with your teacher, and we think maybe you might be ready to try maybe the next level. So I'm going to have you try this book with me. So you can take a quick picture walk and kind of see what you think the book is about, and then we'll read it together. Would that be okay? All right. So tell me what you think you're seeing in the pictures there so we can take a quick picture walk. And this book, I should tell you, this book is called Do You Love Nature? Okay. So tell me what you're seeing in the pictures.
A baby duck on the roof, a bird on a branch, some rabbits in the snow, one is brown, one is white, a bee on a flower, and I have no idea what that bug is.
Okay, so maybe when we read it we'll find out? Maybe so.
And I see a squirrel on a tree with his little acorn. And then all of them on what they were doing.
Okay, all right. Would you like to try this book? All right, so this book is Do You Love Nature?
Ladybugs, ladybugs, where do you go when all of the leaves are covered with snow? Bluebird, where do you fly when it's
Nighttime.
nighttime and starting are in the sky? Bunny rabbits, you love to hop. Where will you be when you
You try it. Finally,
stop. Bumblebee, bumblebee. Your buzz all day. Do you ever have time to stop and play? Cricket, cricket, I love your song. Do you keep chirping all night long? Gray squirrel, gray squirrel. Find big a tree. Can you save some nuts for me? I love nature. Yes, I do. I have lots of questions. How about you?
nice job. I want to go back to this page. I want you to read this page to me one more time because I'm just not sure I heard you correctly. Will you read this page about the gray squirrel?
Gray squirrel. Climbing a tree. Can you save some nuts for me?
You know what I really like about that, Abby? I watched you work. I could see you looking at the picture. I could see you trying some sounds. And then I think maybe, were you thinking to yourself, what makes sense here? Is that what you were kind of wondering about? What would that squirrel be doing? I watched you read ahead and you read these words and you figured out climbing, didn't you? That's exactly what good readers do. They use all of those things together. They use the picture, they use other words in the sentence, and they use the letters and sounds to figure that out. I'm really proud of you for working so hard on that word. All right, I want to go back to a couple of other pages. I want to go back to page 3, and I want us to look at this page together. All right, I told you a word on this page. I bet you'll remember, but let's see if you can read this page one more time.
Bluebird, bluebird, when do you fly? When it's nighttime and stars are in the sky.
So you know what? You fixed it this time. Last time you read that as starts. Does starts make sense? And I watched you go, oh, and you went back and you reread. That's another reason that readers reread. So sometimes we read whole parts of the book. Sometimes we reread just a sentence because we're figuring out that word in the sentence because that makes sense, right? So there's also 2 tricky words on this page. So I'm going to have you read that page one more time because I want to make sure you're paying attention to those tricky words. You might not even know they're tricky.
Bluebird, bluebird, when do you fly?
Okay, stop right there. Will you go back and look at this word? Look all the way through it and tell me what you think that word is.
Where?
It is where. How do you know it's where instead of when? What was your clue?
Because there's 2 E's and there's an R in the middle.
There's an R in there. And when would end with what? When.
And
We'd see an N at the end of the word, wouldn't we? I like the way you are self-correcting. Did you know that's what it's called? When you go back and you reread and you fix something because you realize you've made an error, that's exactly what it's called, and you're doing a really nice job with this. So I'm going to be able to share this with your teacher, and you did a really nice job with this level. Good work today. All right? You can head on back to your seat. Thank you. You read through every word? Good job, Kinsley. you Ronnie? Are you Ronnie? What's your name? Jameson. Can you tell me where Ronnie is sitting?
Yes.
Because I can't remember. Oh, right there in the green jacket. I see him. Ronnie, did you bring your books and come with me to have a conference? Kind of like walking through a maze, isn't it? Trying to get up here. What would you like to share with me today, Ronnie? What book would you like to share? What story? This one? Can I put your box right down here? All right.
What is a conference?
A conference? It's just where we get to talk about books. Would that be all right? Mm-hmm. Yeah? What do you call that when you talk to the books, talk with your teacher about books?
We don't.
You don't?
I don't know.
You don't remember what it's called? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So why did you choose this book?
Because I like it.
You do? What's this book called?
Put me in the zoo.
All right. All right. Let's see what you've got. Let's hear a little bit of this story.
I will go into the zoo. I want to see it. Yes, I do. I would like to think this way. This is where I want to stay. Will you keep me in the zoo? I want to stay in here with you. We don't want you in the zoo. Go out. Out you go. Out with you.
I like the way you stopped and went back right there because you went back and fixed that, didn't you? Mm-hmm. You realized you didn't read it quite right. Would you go back up to this first sentence and read again for me? So read this page again.
Yeah. We don't want you in the zoo.
Can you point to those words as you read that sentence?
We don't want you in the zoo.
I want you to touch those words one more time.
We don't want.
Does that say don't?
Do not want you in the zoo. Out you go, out with you.
Nice job, Ronnie. That was some good self-correcting. You went back and fixed that, didn't you? Nice job. Let's read one more page.
Why did they put me out this way? I should be in. I want to stay.
All right, I'm gonna have you stop right there. I really like the way on those first couple of pages that you noticed that maybe something wasn't quite right, and so you went back and you read it again and you fixed it. Did you know that's exactly what good readers do?
No.
So they do. That's exactly what good readers do, and that's another reason to reread. So you guys have talked about rereading to read your favorite part, but sometimes we read just one sentence because we know that there wasn't something quite right in there, so we go back and we fix it. Okay?
Did you know if we do something good, we can move our magnets up?
Is that right?
Yeah.
So right now, can I tell you something else? I'd like to teach you something else that's going to be really important in this book. I want you to look right here. Do you know what that mark right there is called?
Question mark.
It is called a question mark. I saw this mark too. What's that?
Summation.
And then we also have lots of periods, don't we?
Yeah.
So here's what I want you to remember that good readers do. That mark at the end of the sentence tells you how you would read it. So when we have one of these at the end of a sentence, do you know what we do with our voice? We get excited, don't we? Mm-hmm. So this might sound like this. Out you go. Out. Out with you. Do you hear the difference in my voice?
Yeah.
Let's look at another page. This mark right here, what did you tell me this was called?
Question.
A question mark. I want you to listen to the way I read a question, okay?
Okay.
Why did they put me out this way? He's asking a question, isn't he? Why did they do it? So what I want you to try today is I want you to try to really look at that ending mark and read it in a voice that matches that ending mark. Can we try a page together?
Yeah.
All right, let's try it right here. What kind of marks do you see?
Question.
All right, I want to hear you saying questions. Let's hear it.
Why did they put me out in the zoo?
Now touch the words and read it one more time. That was a good question voice.
Why should they put me in the zoo? What good are you? What can you do?
That sounded like questions. Let's read one more page and then I'm going to send you off to do that work by yourself. Now watch and see, because some of these are questions, some of them are periods, and some are exclamation points. Let me hear you read, paying attention to that punctuation. Let's hear it. All right, let's hear it now.
What good am I? What can I do? Now here is something. One thing I can do. Look! Now all his spots are blue.
Did he change? He did. So when you go back to your seat today, that's what I want you thinking about. I want you looking at your ending punctuation and reading it the way the storyteller would read it with that voice. Would that be all right? I think you can do it. Head on back to your seat.
Did you move anybody's clip up?
I have not. I have not. All right, you can
Will
take that
someone
back.
be-
First grade, it's time to move to partner reading. Before you do that, let's remember a few things. We made that chart. We talked about our chart today of the things that good readers do when they're working with a partner. So we remember that we work as a team. We can read together. We can grow ideas together. We can give reminders. We might even do some book introductions. But most of all today, we're remembering that when we get to the end of the book, we do something, right? And we remember all the things we have to choose from for what we do when we're reading with our partner. Would you quietly and quickly find your spot with your partner and start your partner reading? All right, and we're reading with our partners in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice job, first grade. You're ready to read with your partner. I'm going to listen into you guys as you read, as you partner read. Who's reading right now? Okay, let's hear it. Now make sure we can both hear it, right? I like the way you figured out that word. I watched you look at the picture. Did you notice that he looked at the picture? So who is this person?
A firefighter.
A firefighter. Let's look at this word. Fire. Fire. Could this be fighter? Could that part be fighter? Does it start like what would be right there if it was fighter? What does that word start with? F. Is this an F? So instead of firefighter, this book says fireman's hat. Same thing as a firefighter, but a different word, right? Will you read that page one more time? Look at that word. Touch it. Look it all the way through.
It's the places.
Not firefighter, but fireman. Right. Hat. Good job. All right, let's read. It looks like you're almost at the end, so now we can do something with the book, right? Same part of that word. Look right here. I like the way you figured that out. Nice job. Let's read this page together. Can you read it with us? Let's read it together. It is the policeman's hat. So what are you guys going to do now that you're at the end of the book? What are you guys going to do? Because you have to do something with that story. What are we going to do? Want to reread it? So could you reread it together? Could you do that? Let me hear a little bit before I go listen to another partnership. I think that's a good decision.
This is about...
So that's retelling, that's not rereading. Which one do you want to do? You can decide. Want to reread? So you're going to actually touch the words and read it again. So let's read it together. Whose hat is that? Nice job. Whose hat is that? We know now, don't we?
Yeah.
Touch the words. Let's read together. Whose hat is that? Make sure he can see the book too so we can read it together. It is not the doctor's hat. Good job. Keep reading, all right? Nice work, guys.
Reread the book.
Oh, you just made a decision? You're going to reread it? All right, let's do. Can you reread it together?
Sure.
Okay. What's this book called? What are Wings? This book is called Wings, so let's read this together. Here we go. You touch the words, okay? Here we go. A.
No, this is
You can say it either way, right? Okay. What is this thing? A fly has wings. Let's read it together.
A fly.
Now you-
A butterfly has wings.
Nice job. You know what this insect is called?
Turtle?
No, look at it again. Do you know what this is called?
Dragon?
That's what it is. This is dragonfly. Can you read that page now?
Dragonfly has wings.
Nice job.
A bat has wings.
Your turn.
Owl has wings.
You try your page. We'll come back.
A plane has wings.
So let's look at this page one more time. This looks kind of like an owl, but let's look at this word. How does this word start?
Bird.
So what do you think that is?
I said bird.
It is bird. That's right. Can you read that page for me now?
Bird has wings.
That's exactly it. Nice job. So you guys did a nice job of rereading. So now you're going to keep partner reading and it's your turn to choose a book?
Six birds. Three butterflies. Four dragonflies.
Good job.
Two
That was the very first thing you saw. Look at that. You know what that thing is.
fly.
Uh-huh.
7 airplanes.
Okay. Plane. So these numbers on this page just tell you what page in the book you'll find that on, right? Nice job. Okay. It's his turn now because you're partner reading. Your turn to find a book. Which one do you want to do? Just a second. Let him find a book so that he has a turn too, okay? And you're Jessie, is that right?
Yeah.
And Jessie, what's your partner's name?
Jack.
Jack?
Yeah.
All right, so Jessie and Jack. Thank you for sharing. Jack, what book do you think you're going to read?
Jessie, my name.
Good job, Jessie. Oh, you found one? All right, you're ready. So you're ready to listen. You're ready to listen. Who's reading right now?
She just did.
She just did? So what did you do at the end of the book once she finished? So what do you want to do? So you guys can decide together because you're partners, right? What do you want to do at the end of your book? Reread? So if you reread, could you reread together? Could all of you do some of the reading?
Yeah.
Oh, that would be a great idea. So you'll have to sit so you can all see the book, right? And you can read a page, and she can read a page, and she can read a page. Can we try that? Let's try it, okay? And it's going to be your turn. Pass the book over so she can see too.
I am trying.
Let her try. Oh, try that sentence again. Try that sentence again. Start at the...
Said the duck.
Oh, then we're going to pass it on. Said the duck. Oh, I like the way you're fixing that.
Me too, said the duck. Chicken.
Said the chick. All right, nice job. So you guys did some rereading, right? So what book do you have chosen now for partner reading? All right, so are we going to listen first? All right, let's listen.
Then sat in the bed. Pan sat too. Can the bed go? No.
All right, first grade. Will you quietly put your things back in your box and come back and join me on the rug right here, sitting next to your partner, please? You're ready to go, aren't you? And we are ready to talk in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job, first grade. First grade, I want you, before we even finish, to give yourselves a good pat on the back. Because you know what? You are really doing a nice job with your reading. You go right off to your spots. You read your books. When it's time to partner read, you know just how to get with your partner. And I saw you making lots of good decisions. I'm going to ask these 3 girls that were reading with me at the very end right here to do something for me. Would you be volunteers for me for just a moment, because you did such a nice job with your partners? So you guys can come stand right up here, because it'll be kind of hard for us to make a spot for you in the middle. So will you all bring the book that you had, and you bring the book that you had as we were doing your partner reading. Okay? They made some really nice decisions as partners today, and I want them to just kind of show us what they were doing. So girls, I'm going to actually I'm going to scoot over a little bit so that all 3 of you have room to stand side by side, because when Kinsley had her book and she finished, what was it you decided to do with your book at the end?
Reread.
Reread. Can you show everybody what that looked like, and you guys actually do some rereading for us? Show us what that looked like, okay? So you can actually turn the book so you can see it. They're just going to listen.
I found out where said the duck thing.
It's her turn.
Me too, said the chick. I can
Look at what he's doing. Look at the picture. See if that'll help you.
bug, said the duckling.
Said the duckling. So do you see how when they decided to reread, not just Kinsley reread the book, but they all shared it together and they reread together? Is that something you can do with your partners? Did they make a good choice from our list of do something as partners? They did. And then as soon as they were done doing some rereading, Kinsley put her book away. And tell me your name.
Therese.
Giada. She pulled her book out and she was ready to go. Now, they didn't get quite finished with that book, but Giada, if you guys were finished, what do you think you would choose off of the do something list? What would you do?
I would reread my favorite part.
You'd reread your favorite part. Could you do that by yourself, or could you maybe do that even with your partners?
I'll do it by myself.
Okay, so do you see how they're making good decisions as partners of what to do when they finish their book? They were. And if you decide to reread and you're rereading with your partners, won't you have to have that book so everyone can see it? So you may have to pass it to the next person. Because they have 3, it makes it a little trickier. Right, Jack? Because they have 3, it makes it a little trickier. But when you just have 2, you can lay that book right beside you to do something, can't you? First grade, awesome job today. Thank you so much for letting me come in and work with you. Excuse me. I had to sneeze right there at the end. Nice job today. How about if I leave them right here on the carpet and you can let them know what to do next? And I appreciate you letting me come in to work with you today. You were fantastic readers. All right? Thank you. Have a great day. You guys can stay right here and listen to what you need to do next, okay? All right.
All right, my readers. Let's see their